Have you ever known somebody who just vanished? Or, let's be real, maybe you are that person, the one who stopped texting, stopped calling, and just quietly faded out of everyone's life. Okay, we're going to get into this today because we're talking about the psychology behind why this happens, and trust me, it is not the villain origin story you think it is.
Yeah, this probably sounds a little too familiar. You're busy, but you're not busy with, plans or anything. You're busy protecting your own peace. And suddenly you feel lighter. People might start calling you cold or saying you've changed, but this is all about what they're not even asking. So first things first, let's just completely reframe this whole story. We're going to move away from thinking about this as some kind of malicious act and start understanding it for what it really is, a story of survival. And this right here, this is the question at the heart of it all. Because you see, the physical isolation, that doesn't usually create the loneliness. It just finally makes the loneliness that was already there honest. Now, this decision to pull away doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. No, it's usually the very last entry in a long, and really unbalanced spreadsheet of emotional effort. Let's dig into how that imbalance actually builds up. So your brain, that incredible survival machine, it starts doing this all on its own, subconsciously. It's not some cold, heartless calculation. It's more like an internal audit. It just starts keeping track of the energy you're putting in versus what you're getting back. And after a while, the numbers just don't add up anymore.
And what's so wild is when you see it laid out like this, the contrast is just brutal. You were the one always texting first, right? Rearranging your schedule, canceling your own plans. And when you needed something back, crickets. The data your brain was collecting was crystal clear. You were pouring everything you had into cups that were either already full or just empty.
So where does a pattern like this even come from? Well, it's not just about a few bad friendships you had in your 20s. This is usually a survival blueprint that was drawn up a long time ago.
So here's the thing, it's this 4-step process. Again and again, your brain learns that offering a connection eventually leads to abandonment. So to protect itself, it takes control of the one thing it can control, the exit. Some people might call it self-sabotage, but for your nervous system, it's just smart pattern recognition. And this really gets to the root of it. Maybe you had a parent who was just emotionally checked out, or maybe you were always told to just figure it out yourself. Your nervous system learned really early on that relying on other people was risky, that needing people was actually dangerous. So it wired itself for radical self-sufficiency. Okay, this brings us to a really important distinction. People will accuse you of building walls, but what if they're not walls at all? What if there's something else entirely? See, a wall is just indiscriminate. It's a fortress you build when you are absolutely terrified, and its only job is to keep everybody and everything out, period. It's a reaction to a threat you feel is overwhelming, but a boundary is different. It's a filter. It's intelligent. It's not built from fear. It's built from all that data you've been collecting for years. Its job isn't to keep everyone out. It's to keep the wrong people out, the ones who perfectly fit that pattern of abandonment you now know so well. In psychology, they call this hypervigilance. But we need to reframe that word. This isn't paranoia. This is accuracy. It's like a finely tuned skill for picking up on micro patterns that most people miss. It's being fluent in the language of emotional unavailability. And you know these patterns. You can feel them in the first few conversations, can't you? That subtle shift in their tone, the excuses that are just a little too convenient, the promises that just evaporate. Your pattern recognition isn't you being a pessimist. It's you having a PhD in data collection, and the data just keeps proving you right. So what actually happens when you finally step away? When you stop trying so hard? Everyone expects you to be devastated, lonely, but the reality is often something completely different. And honestly, it's far more peaceful. Man, that one hits hard because it is so true. The most profound, soul-crushing loneliness usually happens when you're surrounded by people, but you feel completely and utterly invisible. The quiet that comes after you walk away, that's not a new loneliness. It's just an honest one. Just let that one sink in for a second. For you, the quiet isn't emptiness, it's safety. It's the one place where you can finally put down your armor because there is no one left to abandon you. It's the absence of that constant low-grade ache of being rejected. So let's get this straight. This isn't about being cold.
It's about becoming incredibly clear about who and what you allow into your life.
You're not closed off from real connection forever. You're simply protected from the broken, one-sided version of it that was offered you over and over again. And this isn't an act of defeat. This is the ultimate act of allegiance. After years and years of showing up for everyone else, you are finally showing up for yourself.
And that's it. That's the heart of it all. This isn't about a lack of love. It's about the fierce, undeniable presence of self-preservation. It is your nervous system, your entire being finally standing up and saying, enough, I will keep myself safe. It might not be the ending that other people wanted for you, but it might just be the beginning that finally keeps you whole.